Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. The two spots we are watching, both are flaring up. Everything on track from what we talked about in this video over the last few days. Now, I want to add a few additional areas into monitor mode. We're not in action mode anywhere. I don't want to waste any of your time or resources, but I do want to be careful as we watch these two spots as we continue forward in the hurricane season. So spot number one in the Western Caribbean, and that flare up right there in the Atlantic, that's the second area that we've been watching together. Let's begin with that and some of the new information now for you. Anywhere from the Dominican Republic swinging all the way back through about Guadeloupe and Dominica, we're watching this area that's out there. The most likely path of this as of now will take this area of low pressure, so just a storm system, not a named storm system, and bring it very close to Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, British and U.S. Virgin Islands by the time we get into Friday. So by the end of the week, there's going to be additional rain here. Now for today, this area is stuck in some dry air, so not developing a whole lot today. By Thursday, it'll get closer, and then by Friday, we're going to see this area nearby. Now, at that point, will it be a tropical storm? Most likely not. But know that I'm clearly watching it. If it does start to spin up sooner, I'll let you know. And then whatever this area is will be just north of Puerto Rico. It'll give us additional rain on Puerto Rico Friday into Saturday, and then kind of pull a little bit closer to the Mona Passage and the Dominican Republic on Saturday. After that, it could develop into a tropical storm. But that's what I'm seeing as of now with this area we're watching out there. So with that, we are in monitor mode now. Again, not action mode. Monitor mode means we're simply watching this. We're not taking additional action or anything like that. Your time, resources, of course. We're simply watching this spot. So Guadeloupe swinging back through Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, Sebastian, back through the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Spread the word that there's an area we're watching, that it is not necessarily going to blow up into this massive tropical storm or hurricane, but let folks know that I'm watching this for signs of development. At the least, it looks like it'll bring us some extra rain, as I mentioned, Friday into Saturday, and I'll be kind of watching to see if it does want to develop. As of now, the European model and the American model do not have this develop into a tropical storm at this point. They kind of go back and forth. The Canadian model does eventually have this become a hurricane. In the ICON model, either a tropical depression or tropical storm. A tropical depression is right below a tropical storm. So a couple of the models do try to eventually spin this up as it gets a little bit closer to Puerto Rico, Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas. And again, the Bahamas, of course, watching down the road. Same thing on Haiti. So a slow go just watching that area, but we're in monitor mode. And I wanted to mention that we are in monitor mode, not action mode, because there's a lot of maps like this, and anytime you see this, it looks scary. These are the computer models bringing this area toward us, but these do not tell us what it is going to be. When you see a map like this, well, how strong is it going to be? That's why I showed you the second map that I showed you in this video, that as of now, I don't quite see it as a name system near Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda. I'll watch for that, but eventually it could try to spin up some. So just monitoring that as we go forward. And you see most of the models have this. This is a day from now, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, still not even a tropical storm. A couple of them want to develop into a tropical storm. Others just want to keep this as an area of rain. You got to see the conditions in the environment are a little tricky this time of year with those fall fronts that are to the north. And I want to show you that. I do want to touch on that, some of the science behind what I'm watching. Here, this is, by the way, on Friday. There's a little spin right in here. That's the spot I'm watching. A lot of wind shear just north of there. The wind shear is good. That prevents things from developing. Winds above our heads. That prevents things from developing. But it does have a small window to develop as this approaches the Bahamas before it gets mixed into the wind shear. So I'm not saying it's not going to develop. Just over the next couple days, it shouldn't develop, and then we'll wait and see if it does want to spin up further. And then we swing back here. Here's that other little spin on Friday, very close to Honduras, Providencia, San Andres over toward Nicaragua. This could develop as well, but also some wind shear nearby. So close call for both of those areas. Now, let's track those, and then I want to zoom down into the Caribbean further to cover this area day by day. So here we are in the northeastern Caribbean. We get into the southeastern Caribbean, Barbados, back through Trinidad, watching that spot spot out there. And then this area here, regardless of development, this should work its way back towards Central America later this week. So let me take you through it on the American model and then show you the European model next. American model here, let's bring out in time. This here is Thursday, bringing it into Friday, just jumping ahead a couple days. I'll go slower in just a second back through the Caribbean. But you see the American model, what I was just talking about, bringing this area near the northeastern Caribbean, but not as a named system, as a batch of rain on Friday. But it does have a window before it mixes in with this front to develop. That's why I was showing you the wind shear that is to the north. And then you see this spot here in the western Caribbean that could eventually spin up and work its way into Honduras and Nicaragua, even Belize. And what do I mean by spin up? I mean develop. It does have a chance of becoming a named system. This here is by Saturday. It takes this area here that's rolling through the northern and northeastern Caribbean, just kind of mixes it with the front. The American model is not showing a lot of development out of that. We could get some flooding. This area here, though, the American model still does want to develop some. Regardless, with both of these areas, I am concerned about some flooding, although some spots we need some rain in the northeastern Caribbean, help fill up some of the cisterns, but of course we don't need a named system. This here is by Sunday, just kind of a mess, showing lots of areas of rain around parts of the southern Bahamas, near Puerto Rico, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. Some of that rain could be beneficial so long that this does not develop into a named system. So short term, not developing into a named system. Longer term, it does have a chance. And then I'll zoom down to this area in just a moment. Let me show you the European model with both of these. So here's Cuba. Here we are, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Trinidad. Here we are as we work our way toward Belize, Cancun and Cozumel right in here, Roatan as you get over toward Honduras. Now, the European model is what I've been leaning to the last few days and so far on track, showing just a lot of rain back through the Western Caribbean with that slight chance of developing. So this here is by Wednesday. Now, to the north, high pressure has been in control. There's a big fall front moving by parts of the southeast U.S. That being in control is going to keep all of this right here down to the south. So this spot in the Western Caribbean will eventually work its way back toward Central America. That's why I mentioned monitor mode as well. I'll touch on that in a second in Central America with the chance of rain. And here comes that other spot that I was just showing you with the American model. This here is by the time we get into Thursday, the extra rain in the Western Caribbean, and then watching this spot getting closer on Thursday to the northeastern Caribbean right there. Here's that front that's hanging around. This will have a small window to try to develop into a name system. So this here is on Thursday. There's that fall front that acts like a blocker for the United States. You see that area of high pressure right there. This here is by Friday, going slowly, and you see again these two particular areas that I'm watching where they go. This one should shift this way. That front, that blocker is still there. Lots of rain pulling back toward parts of Central America, even close to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. And here's that area right in there. Here's Puerto Rico. So the European model is saying, hey, this area on Saturday will be just to the north of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, not showing a whole lot of signs of development, although it could. And then this area here just continues to feed moisture into Central America. So that flooding is going to be stacking up. So this here is by Saturday, but high pressure dominant throughout much of the United States, trying to keep everything away. Then just going longer term on the European model to show you the uncertainty with this area. It shows that rain working toward the Bahamas this weekend. This here would be by next week. And then some of the models just want to leave the rain, have it fizzle out. Others want to kind of kick this area back with a front and drive it up toward Bermuda. This here would be a week from now, even over a week from now, by the time we get into next Wednesday. So it's a wait and see. And this time of year, that's how it usually goes. When we're in July and August, even September, it's easier for me to really latch on to a forecast track, intensity, all of that, which I've been doing for you all season. This time of year, these fronts that come through the U.S. do put an additional wrinkle in the forecast, an additional ingredient in the forecast that I have to take into account. And that's why there's a little more uncertainty, which you very well understand. We get back here through the Western Caribbean. This spot is going to drive towards Central America a little bit slower. Looks like a better chance, higher chance of rain. We do have a high chance of rain, but especially Friday and Saturday. The European model does not develop in this area. The American model still eventually wants to spin this up into a tropical storm and have it move toward Belize, Honduras, and Nicaragua Friday into Saturday. Canadian model, no storm. Icon model does not have this being a storm. With that, we are still on track from what I was showing you days and days ago. Like in the northeastern Caribbean and northern Caribbean, we are not in action mode. We are in monitor mode, and that's why that's why I wanted to let you know about that, to not waste your time and resources. But monitor mode, San Andres, Providencia, Nicaragua, up through Mexico. We're just keeping an eye on it. Could become a named system, but the bigger concern will be the mudslide potential and the flooding out of this. And you see all that moisture. Even Jamaica, we've had some showers around, and even across the ABC Islands, Aruba, Curacao, we've had some rain around. Right today. There's just a lot of moisture in here, and then eventually toward the end of the week, it may try to develop and spin its way back towards Central America. So here's that closer in look. So you can pick a spot on the map where you are: Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Lucia, Trinidad. Here's Panama, Costa Rica. Keep me posted. Let me know in the comments if you are getting any flooding the next few days. Just a lot of rain building in here. This is the American model, which is very similar for the most part to the European model at this point. So this is tomorrow. Some of that moisture could be feeding up toward parts of Haiti near Jacmel, getting over toward Falmouth, over toward Montego Bay into Jamaica. So just a blob of rain that is sitting there. And then here's that other area that is approaching. You see Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis. Now I'm hoping it turns out to be good news where our rain chance bumps up, but we don't have a named system. Let's go out in time further. This here is by Thursday. Same thing on Thursday. Now, Thursday into Friday, that's when the American model tries to gradually develop this. The front is up to the north, the blocker, so it starts to develop this and then nudges it this way, and there's some of that additional rain getting closer to the northeastern Caribbean, but it starts to pull in with some at least scattered showers, rougher seas into Friday. So let's bring out in time here. This is Friday, stopping the clock here, and then you see it. See how that rain kind of shifts here, starts to pull back here. This area starts to work closer to the northeastern Caribbean, trying not to develop quite yet, but this area here is going to draw all this moisture back toward Belize, parts of Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, still Costa Rica and Panama, and it may try to develop at least briefly into a tropical storm. If either one of these areas does get a name, and that's not a guarantee, again, we're not in action mode, we're in monitor mode, not a guarantee. Next name on the list is Nadine, Oscar, and then Patty after that. But boy, do we need this season to shut off. So things will be getting choppier all over the place as we go out in time with both of these areas, Caribbean and the Atlantic water, simply getting choppier. This is Thursday. This is meters. That's feet on your screen. Even through the Gulf of Mexico with that front moving by, things are bumpier, which is common this time of year. With the fronts and still some action in the tropics, things are very elevated. You see by Saturday, rough conditions with an old front, this area trying to move through that disturbance near Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Watching this moisture building here that will keep those seas elevated. So heads up. I know our mariners, boaters, captains out there, you know very well this time of year can get rocky as we're trying to thread the needle between some fronts and tropical systems. Now here's Bermuda, and I'll monitor long-term Bermuda, even up toward the Atlantic region of Canada. By the way, happy Thanksgiving yesterday across Canada. I'll be watching again to see if anything does try to kind of work its way up here. For the most part, we're going to be tracking the additional rain with these fronts moving by. This here is by the time we get into Thursday. So a lot of fronts pulling off the eastern seaboard of the U.S. back toward Canada and moving its way toward Bermuda. Additional rain, Bahamas. Know that I'm watching us as we go forward just to see if this area does develop. If something tries to develop into a tropical storm and heads our way, I'll give you plenty of advance notice. We'll go island by island if need be. I will cover us across the Bahamas. But additional rain, look at this. This is the blob of rain here. We could see some areas the next few days, especially south side of Jamaica, getting 4 inches of rain or 100 millimeters of rain. Not as much in the northeastern Caribbean, but all eyes are on what's going on to the east. That area that will be getting closer, so we are in monitor mode right here. Southeastern Caribbean, we are not in monitor mode. Rain chance is actually pretty limited. There will be a few showers and storms that could give us 25 millimeters to an inch of rain, but the rain chance is not too terribly high. It's this big blob of rain. Now, look at this big blob of rain here. Even if this doesn't develop, this is going to shift over here, and that's why I was given a heads up. Mexico, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, some higher totals, especially later in this week, even Guatemala and El Salvador as this starts to work in. That rain chance is going to bump up, especially Friday and Saturday as that moisture eventually moves to the west, but Mexico City to the north, back through Texas, generally dry. So the rain chance is going to start to bump up across Jamaica. Keep me posted on what we're getting. 40% chance today in the Cayman Islands, but you see by Thursday, up to about a 60 to 70% chance. Rain chance tomorrow and Thursday, Trinidad and Tobago, we're looking at about a 40% chance. 30% chance today in Barbados, a 50% chance for tomorrow. And the next 3 days, St. Lucia, not a super high chance, but we have a 30 to 40% chance. 50% chance today in Grenada, 40% chance tomorrow. In the next 3 days, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a 30 to 40% chance. 30% chance today in Martinique, a 40% chance for tomorrow. And we'll stay at about a 30% chance over the next 3 days in Dominica. Guadeloupe, same thing, rain chance holding at 30%. And a little bit lower the next couple days, Antigua, Barbuda, all eyes off to the east. We are in monitor mode, not action mode. 20% chance of rain, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. We're in monitor mode as well. Same thing in Anguilla and St. Bart's, 20% chance of rain. 20% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Rain chance limit it for now. We'll see if it does pick up on Friday as this area starts to move in. Puerto Rico, monitor mode, not action mode. We don't have anything coming directly at us at this time. U.S. British Virgin Islands, rain chance pretty small for today. About a 50% chance. We're pretty active in the Bahamas with those scattered showers around. 30% chance in the Turks and Caicos. 20% chance, kind of limited in the Dominican Republic, but we'll see if some of this moisture in the Western and Central Caribbean tries to lift in. Haiti, rain chance 20%. Better chance southern coast, Boston Blue to the south. Belize, about a 40 to 50% chance, but late this week in Belize, the rain chance will be increasing. Keep me posted in the comments even if you get some of the rain around today. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, there's that elevated chance of rain still for today. We've already had some showers around. We had some I was tracking with you last night. Still that chance of some showers. Guyana, rain chance about 20%. Suriname, it's not very high, 10 to 20% chance. As we work our way into Cuba tomorrow and Thursday, about a 50% chance of some scattered showers and storms. Costa Rica, Panama, let me know. Thank you for the comments. How we're doing with any rain. Nicaragua, rain chance is going to be moving up, especially late week. I am concerned about flooding. Same thing goes for Honduras and our Colombian islands that are just offshore. Guatemala and El Salvador, late week, rain chance will be increasing. Not as much though Mexico City. And then as we get back toward the Yucatan, we'll start to see that moisture building later this week. Northern Colombia, rain chance about 50%. 20 to 30% chance though northern Venezuela. And watching out for these fronts around periods of rain at times the next several days across Bermuda. So that Atlantic disturbance moving to the west, moving closer. It'll be very close to us in the northeastern Caribbean on Friday. Showed you that most likely path of that area, and then a wait and see to monitor how much that area will strengthen, and watching that heavy rain in the western Caribbean, which may develop into a tropical storm later this week. So a couple spots in monitor mode. You know I've got you covered. Thank you for being part of this channel. Have a very good rest of your day.